how I met Alli Bramwell. Well, when I was a junior, she was a sophomore. We had seminary together, but we had absolutely no mutual friends. I always talked to Alli in seminary about music, and we were like seminary friends. I thought she was really, really cute, and I was kind of always really nervous around her. I'd always be like, hey, can I make some CDs? How about, you like Jack Johnson? Cool, how about get you a Kalai CD? Yeah, Kalai's real cool.
And Shane would always like bring the most random stuff to my house, always just dropping stuff off. And I was always like, oh yeah, nice, thanks. He'd invite me to the most random places, and I just thought it was so weird. I was like, we're all friends, I'm not interested in you.
So finally I got up the nerve to ask out Alli on a date, and we went to my house and we watched a movie.
So Shane kept trying to hold my hand. Now, most of you know me, I have sweaty hands, like they're always clammy.
For some reason, my hands just started sweating profusely.
Shane's hand is sweaty, so it's like the most awkward, uncomfortable experience.
And it was just so uncomfortable, and I could tell neither one of us like were really loving life at that point.
I didn't really want to be there, but I went.
Date ended. I don't think we talked for a while.
Now, I was used to Shane dropping off random stuff at my house. Like, he'd always give me like bubblegum and CDs and just random stuff. So, no surprise, Valentine's Day, Shane's knocking on my door. And I was like, yeah, here he is again, dropping off something random. So, he has a bag of Hershey's Kisses and a homemade something folded in half in the heart shape. So, he got in the door and he's like, kind of frantic, and he's like, here, don't open this till I leave. And then like ran away. So I was like, huh, and he wonders why I think he's weird.
And I told her she couldn't open it until I left.
I opened up the Valentine, and on it says, free for one makeout with Shane Rickard.
I thought it was awesome.
So I don't know him, and I was thinking, you're creepy. So I don't talk to him.
And she didn't really talk to me for like ever after that, really. So I was like, oh, that's weird, whatever. I had a friend that was on the softball team with her, and she was like, yeah, Alli thinks you're really cute. You should ask her to prom. And I'm like, all right, positive encouragement. I'm gonna ask Alli to prom. So I did this elaborate thing where I asked her to prom.
I say yes because, I mean, I'm nice and I didn't want to be rude.
She didn't bother to answer me. She saw me like 4 or 5 days after at school, and she's like, oh yeah, I was gonna do something elaborate, but then I just have been busy, so yeah, I'll go. And I was like, oh, cool. I
naturally thought, oh, he just wants to redeem that makeout pass.
I'm glad that you're so excited. So yeah, I had saved up all this money, and I'd never really gone to a formal dance. I wasn't a huge fan of them, but I'm like, Alli's really cute. I have a huge crush on her, so I'm totally willing to like do that whole thing and spend a lot of money on it.
So I go to the dance. I wasn't super excited. I just did my hair straight because I didn't want to curl it because I wasn't happy to go with Shane on. No, I feel bad now about that.
I paid for the tickets, I paid for dinner, I paid for the tux, all this stuff. My brother even let me borrow his brand new car, and I thought I was like, all right, I got a brand new car, I look good in the tux, I'm taking Alli Bramwell out. And then, like, the whole time she was putting off this vibe, it was just like, ew. I am not excited to be on this date with you.
2 of my best friends from different schools were going to be at that dance, so I was really excited to go. My friends were there, and I didn't think it was any big deal because Shane was having a good time with his friends, so I went and hung out with my friends on the fast song.
But then, like, I tried to find her for the slow songs, and she would just, like, somehow be gone still. And I was like, well, your friends are with their dates. Who are you with? And then we go to my buddy's house to watch a movie afterwards, and
I thought, of course he wants to watch a movie, he just wants to redeem that makeout coupon. I like turned my back, not even looking at the TV, and I pretended to fall asleep.
Like, alright, this is ridiculous. She's like, alright, I gotta go home. The movie's not even halfway over. I'm like, really? She's like, yeah, I have a
very strict curfew, like to the minute. I had to be home when the grandfather clock was dinging.
So I pull up the driveway, and I'm like, well, thanks, it's fun. She's like, yep. And I get to go out, and she's like, no, it's okay, it's raining. And I'm like, no, I'd really like to walk you to your door. And she's like, no, really, it's okay. Awkward side hug, and she gets out and walks into the door, and I just couldn't help but just stand there and just baffled that she really just shafted me on walking her to the door. So I tried to give her pictures to the dance like 4 or 5 times because I like wanted to like end on a good note. That wasn't happening because finally she texted me after like 4 or 5 tries and she's like, I don't have to be at my house when you drop off the pictures. You can just leave them with my mom. So it's like, man, Alli Bramwell is mean.
And then I didn't talk to him seriously for like 5 years after. I went to Jerusalem on study abroad, and one of Shane's best friends' parents, the Manstills, happened to be my teachers in Jerusalem. Shane chatted me and we were talking about the Manstills, so I was like, oh, that's nice, we'll talk about this. So then he was like, hey, can I take you back when you get to America? And I was like, sure, that'd be great. So I was thinking, you know what? I'd really like to let Shane take me out so he can know I'm a nice person. Finally, we went out and
She was like an hour and a half late to our first date.
which wasn't bad for me. It was seriously the best date ever, the best first date I've ever been on.
And we really had like a great connection. It was so bizarre because I never had a connection with Alli ever before.
But we sat there and talked for 3 hours, had great conversations, and just hit it off. But later I found out that Shane had a list of girls he had to take out after his mission. And I was the last girl left on the list, so he was taking me out just as a check mark. But I was going with real good intentions. So people always say when you know, and I just didn't believe it at all, but I can honestly say choosing to marry Shane was one of actually the easiest decisions of my life. We get along so well, and I can't imagine being with anybody else more perfect for me for the rest of our lives. Shane's really my best friend.
I love that she is really selfless in her actions.
I love his passion for life. He's so passionate about things.
She has this childlike enthusiasm for life. He has like this little kid smile that's just the funniest thing. She's like, yeah! And she just is always really excited and happy wherever she is and always tries to make the best of everything.
I love Shane's ability to love. He's seriously the most fun-loving person. He really is the life of the party. When Shane's around, you always know it's going to be a good time, whether he's doing voices or telling stories. He's just so entertaining.
I just love spending time with her because whenever we are together, we always have a great time and we're always joking with each other.
I just love Shane.
She's just my best friend, and I'm really excited to start a new life with Alli and start our marriage for eternity.